New York Times writes this. Erik Prince, a security contractor with close ties to the Trump administration, has in recent years helped recruit former American and British spies for secret intelligence gathering operations that included infiltrating Democratic congressional campaigns, labor organizations, and other groups considered hostile to the Trump agenda. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? This fucking murderer, Erik Prince, has been hiring former U.S. and British spies to infiltrate legitimate American organizations, Democratic congressional campaigns, labor organizations, and other groups considered hostile to this orange cocksucker in the White House, Donald Trump. Isn't that illegal? In the age of Trump, nothing this rat bastard does is illegal. Don't forget, he was found not guilty of crimes against the United States. This is fucking horrible. Am I the only one that gets this outraged and fucked up and into gutter language? Is it only me? I watch all my good friends on MSNBC. I listen to some of the podcasts. I don't hear this kind of shit. One of the former spies who now works for Erik Prince, and the name of his group, well, he was the former head of Blackwater Worldwide, but I'll get to that in a second. One of the former spies is an ex-MI6 officer from the UK named Richard Seddon. And he helped run an operation 2 years ago to steal files and record conversations in a Michigan office at the American Federation of Teachers. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. American Federation of Teachers. Who is Erik Prince's sister? Betsy DeVos. Who is she? Secretary of Education. What does she want to do? Destroy public education and replace it with Christian fascism for every fucking child in America. What does Erik Prince want to do? Make sure that little sis gets the job fucking done. So they infiltrate the Michigan office, American Federation of Teachers, one of the largest teachers' unions in the nation. Mr. Seddon directed an undercover operative to secretly tape the union locals' leaders to gather information that could be made public to damage the organization. The next year, using a different alias, the same undercover operative infiltrated the congressional campaign of Abigail Spanberger, who was then a former CIA officer herself, who went on to win an important House seat in Virginia as a Democrat. Her campaign discovered this fucking Nazi operative who works for Betsy DeVos and Erik Prince, and they fired her. Both operations were run by Project Veritas. You remember that? Remember Project Veritas? Run by that greasy little fucker. What was his name? It'll come up here in a minute. That's the group that got a lot of attention using hidden cameras and microphones for sting operations on news organizations. Remember that? And also Democratic politicians and the liberal advocacy groups and all that. But both Project Veritas, I love they use the word Veritas, and Prince have ties to Trump's inner circle of gangsters and Trump's rotten fucking family. That rotten fucking family of his. Remember, They're all in this together. And the writers of this article for the Times says whether any Trump administration officials or advisors of the president were involved in the operations, even tacitly, is unclear. No, it isn't. It's unclear if you're writing a piece in a respectable journal like the New York Times, but it's not fucking unclear to me or you. Prince also worked with Michael Flynn, former National Security Advisor, that greasy, filthy, goddamn disgrace to the United States military, General Flynn. Remember him during the presidential transition? Remember when Michael Flynn stood in front of the Republican National Committee and started with his distorted face looking like some little fucking junior Hitler screaming, "Yeah, lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up!" Remember that? Yeah. In 2017, Prince met with Trump and Pentagon officials to pitch his plan, we talked about this, to privatize the Afghan war and turn it over to Erik Prince. Yeah, instead of using American troops. Jim Mattis, who was then the defense secretary, said, "Get the fuck out of here." Now, why would Erik Prince want to run military operations exclusively in Afghanistan? Heroin, motherfucker! Opium poppies. Are you shitting me? That's how Blackwater finances itself. That's how all these fucking Nazi organizations finance themselves. Where do you think the drug trade, where do you think all the money goes? Into buying big houses and swimming pools for these dumb fuckers down in Mexico who run different drug cartels? No, that's not where it goes at all. Oh, little crumbs go. But where the big money goes is to finance organizations like Blackwater or the Trump campaign or any of these illegal Nazi organizations. So that's why Erik Prince wanted Afghanistan. Well, we'll take care of Afghanistan. Leave it to me, boss. Huh? God damn. You know, these right-wing nutfucks talk about the deep state. Oh, it does exist. But it's not the bureaucracy that works its ass off, the men and women in the bureaucracy, in the U.S. government, that work their asses off every fucking day to keep this country running. No, the deep state are these fuckers. These slimy, filthy son of a bitches who have now popped out like pus running out of a huge carbuncle that bursts when Trump was elected. That's your deep state. Project Veritas, the group has also become intertwined with the political activities of Mr. Trump and his family. Well, of course. There's not a gangster organization involved in extortion, fraud, and crime in the United States that has not either gotten involved with the Trump operation or has requested involvement with the Trump operation. Because the Trump operation is the most profoundly successful crime operation in the fucking history of this country. This makes these little mafia families back in the 50s look like a bunch of little grease balls who run around extorting nickels and dimes off of people so their laundries don't get burned out or their bars don't get blown up. Fuck the mafia. This is the Trump organization, motherfucker. This is the most complex, sophisticated crime operation ever. The only problem is you have people like Shifty Schiff and Nancy Pelosi who constantly pull the curtain back and show these pigs for what they are. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to The Ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com. And never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.